Storybox Audio.
Days later, the CCTV footage was reviewed. Administrators watched the grainy film of 5 girls entering the bathroom at midnight. Hours passed. At 3:07 a.m., only one girl, Maya, staggered out. Her face pale, her eyes wide and unblinking. On the recording, the bathroom doors shook violently, though no one stood near it. Cracks spread across the mirror by themselves. Water pooled and vanished. And always in the background, the sound of weeping echoing through the speakers, a child's cry repeating over and over until the screen went black. Dare to hear more haunted stories like this? Like this video and share it with someone who can't sleep tonight. This time, it opened easily, as if nothing had ever held it shut. She stumbled into the hall, still clutching the camera. Behind her, the bathroom door swung closed with a slow creak. From within, a final sob rose faint but endless, trailing into the silence. A girl crying alone in the dark. Their mouths moved in unison, whispering words too faint to hear. Lena stepped forward. "If you want a witness, take me. Let her go." She looked at Maya, tears streaking down her face. "You have to survive. You have to tell them." Maya shook her head violently. "I'm not leaving you." The pipes rattled furiously, metal clanging like chains dragged across stone. The water surged again, rushing toward them. Maya held the camera high, determined to record everything. The liquid rose up, grabbing Lena's waist. She didn't resist. She closed her eyes and let it take her. Her scream echoed once, long, sharp, and cut off as the water swallowed her whole. Maya stood alone. The floor drained suddenly, the red water sucking back into the toilets and sinks. Silence filled the room. Then a faint piano note played ding, followed by another dong, 2 lonely keys echoing through the halls. Maya backed against the cracked door. She pushed. A low humming filled the room, vibrating the tiles, growing louder, until it became a shriek. Her feet lifted off the ground. Strands twisted into a noose around her neck. Maya and Lena tried to grab her legs, pulling down, but the hair only tightened. Sophia's eyes bulged, her mouth open in a silent cry. The sound of hair stretching and snapping filled the air like ropes tightening on a gallows. Her final breath left in a choking gasp, and then her body dropped. She lay motionless, her head bent at an unnatural angle. Lena screamed, falling to her knees. "No more, please, Izzy, no more." The crying returned softer this time, echoing through the drains, the vents, the broken mirror like a child begging to be forgiven. Maya clutched Lena's hand. "We can't stop her, but maybe we can carry her voice out. Maybe that's what she wants." The mirror rippled. Now it showed all 3 lost girls standing in a row, smiling and crying at once. Only Maya, Lena, and Sophia remained. The red light of the cracked camera blinked like a dying heartbeat. From the ceiling vent, water dripped faster, plop, 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 until it sounded like hands clapping slowly above their heads. Sophia clutched her bleeding wrist. "We won't survive. She wants all of us." "No," Maya said, shaking. "Someone has to live. Someone has to tell the truth." She raised the camera again, pointing at the cracked mirror. Inside the reflection, Quinn and Jordan smiled blankly, their faces gray as ash. A third figure joined them. It was Sophia, though she stood alive and trembling beside Maya. The mirror groaned like ice shifting on a frozen lake, and the cracks spread toward the top with a brittle snap. Sophia whimpered, "It already has me." She backed away, hitting the sinks. Suddenly, her hair lifted, pulled straight up as though seized by invisible hands. She screamed, thrashing. Lena backed away, pulling Maya and Sophia. "She's killing us one by one." From the ceiling vent, a faint lullaby hummed, sweet at first, then breaking into static whispers. Sophia clutched her bleeding wrist. "We can't fight her. We have to give her what she wants." "And what's that?" Maya demanded, tears streaming down her face. Lena's voice cracked. "She wants us to feel what she felt. Alone, trapped, dying in the dark." As if in answer, the mirror quivered again, and in its fractured glass, Jordan now stood beside Quinn, both smiling, both waiting. A chorus of sobs filled the room, multiple voices now layered together in a twisted harmony of grief and rage. Maya clutched the camera tighter, staring at the two reflections. "We can't all die here," she whispered. But deep inside, she wasn't sure if there was a choice anymore. The bathroom floor was slick with blood-red water. Two of them were gone, Quinn swallowed by the toilet, Jordan crushed in the door. The mirror shuddered with a shrill screech like nails dragged down a chalkboard. Suddenly, the stall door slammed shut, rattling the hinges. Jordan spun, startled. A gust of cold air rushed through, carrying the stink of rot. Then, without warning, the bathroom door slammed on its own, pinning Jordan's neck in the gap between door and frame. She gasped, legs kicking. "Help!" The door groaned as it pushed tighter, bones cracking with sickening pops. Maya and Lena ran to pull it back, but the handle burned hot under their palms. The camera caught Jordan's face twisted in pain, her eyes bulging. With one final snap, her neck bent sideways at an impossible angle. The body slumped to the floor. Sophia screamed, dropping the camera. The lens cracked, but it kept recording. The red light blinked over Jordan's still-form, blood trickling from her mouth. The bathroom filled with heavy breathing, ragged, animalistic, as though someone else had joined them in the dark. Her eyes were wide pupils, swallowed by terror. The water surged, pulling her waist-deep into the toilet. Her face disappeared beneath the bloody surface. A muffled scream echoed from under the water, trapped and bubbling until it cut off in silence. The toilet flushed with a violent twist, and Quinn was gone. Only her torn fingernails remained scratched across the sink's edge. Jordan collapsed, sobbing in rage. "We could have saved her. We could have..." Her voice broke. From the mirror, a new sound, a thin giggle, high-pitched, childlike, danced across the room. Maya turned the camera toward it. In the cracked reflection, Quinn's smiling face was back. But this time, her eyes were blank hollow, and her mouth moved, though no sound escaped. "Don't watch," Lena begged, shielding her own face. "Don't let her pull you in." But Jordan couldn't look away. She stepped closer, fury trembling through her. "You want me? Take me then. Quinn's right here," Jordan snapped, clutching the trembling girl. But Quinn's reflection didn't return. From the third stall came a sudden splash, violent like someone had jumped feet first into a pool of liquid. The girls turned. Water, thick red, alive, gushed from the toilet, flooding across the tiles. It moved with purpose, swirling toward them. "Up, get up," Maya shouted. They scrambled onto the counters, water licking their shoes as it spread. Quinn slipped screaming as the red flood caught her ankle. The water rose in a column, twisting into the shape of a hand. It grabbed, yanking her down toward the bowl. The toilet roared, gurgling like a throat swallowing too much at once. Jordan lunged, gripping Quinn's hands. "Not again. You're not taking her," she screamed. The others pulled too, their voices overlapping. But the red water was stronger. It dragged Quinn across the tiles, nails clawing gouges into porcelain as she tried to hold on.
"Help me!
"Help me!" she screamed. Darkness thickened in the bathroom after the bulbs burst. The only light was the shaky red dot of Sophia's camera and the faint glow from the hall bleeding through the cracked door. The air reeked of metal and mold. Quinn sobbed softly, her voice breaking like glass. Jordan held her close, whispering curses at the locked door. In the pitch dark, a faint drip, drip, drip echoed from somewhere above, louder than before, each drop splattering like blood falling into water. Maya tried to steady her breathing. We need to stay calm. Stay together. A long creak rolled across the ceiling, as though something heavy was crawling in the air, ducts dragging nails against metal. Sophia lifted the camera higher, trying to catch movement. The lens panned across the shattered mirror. For one heartbeat, it showed all 5 girls, then flickered, and Quinn's reflection was gone. No. No, 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 Lena whispered. She took her already. Jordan pulled Quinn toward the door again, but the handle refused to turn. This time it didn't rattle, it pulsed, beating like a heart beneath her hand. Boom, 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 the door handle throbbed with a steady rhythm as if it were alive. Lena stood frozen. Tears streamed down her face. We trapped her here once. We're trapping her again. She'll never forgive us. The figure's head tilted, strands parting just enough to reveal a mouth torn wide, water spilling from it in thin streams. A gurgling laugh bubbled out, liquid choking every syllable. And then the lights exploded, glass raining down, plunging the bathroom into darkness, lit only by the camera's red glow. From the third stall, the sound of something dragging a wet scrape moved toward them. The stall door creaked open without touch. Inside was only shadow, deep and oily. And from that shadow, a pale hand pressed against the tile floor. Fingers spread, 2 wide nails split and jagged. The hand pulled itself forward, but the body attached was unseen. Quinn shrieked, "She's coming out." The crying rose to a shrill scream, echoing so violently that the light fixture above rattled and showered dust. Maya grabbed Sophia's camera and aimed it. "Izzy, we're sorry they shouldn't have done that to you," her voice cracked. "We're here now." But the pale hand only kept dragging, leaving streaks of red water on the tile. A second hand emerged, nails scratching deep grooves into the floor. Then came the headlong wet hair plastered across a face, 2 white eyes invisible behind strands. The sound of hair slithering across tile hissed like snakes in a pit. She zoomed on the sink drain. Between the metal slats, hair coiled like seaweed, black and slick. The drain burbled wetly, coughing up a bubble that popped with a sticky plop. Before anyone could react, the hair surged upward, a snake of wet strands wrapping around Sophia's wrist. She screamed, the camera swinging wildly. Maya and Jordan lunged to grab her. The hair yanked her arm toward the drain with unnatural force. "Cut it! Cut it!" Jordan shouted. She grabbed the paper towel dispenser's jagged edge and sawed at the strands. Each slice released a shriek, not from Sophia, but from the drain itself. The bathroom filled with a high-pitched wail, metallic and sharp like microphone feedback, mixed with human anguish. Finally, the hair snapped free, recoiling down the drain like it had been burned. Sophia collapsed to the floor, her wrist bleeding with red welts. The camera lay beside her, still recording, catching every detail. "If you don't stop, none of us will leave to show anyone." Then the mirror changed. The reflections of Maya, Jordan, Lena, and Sophia all stood frozen. But Quinn's reflection lifted its hand and waved. The mirror gave a sharp ping like ice breaking in a glass, and the wave turned into a clawing scrape down the inside of the glass. Quinn screamed, "Make it stop!" She tried to stand but stumbled. The hoodie was gone, but her shoe prints, bloody from her ankle, traced the tiles like breadcrumbs leading nowhere. Maya stepped forward, her own reflection fractured into dozens of shards. "Izzy, please, if this is you, tell us what you want." The crying returned, low and muffled, as though someone wept into cup pans, the sound spilling through fingers. Lena's eyes watered. She wants us to feel it, the way she felt. Jordan kicked the base of the mirror. It rattled, but the reflection didn't change. Quinn's grin remained. Suddenly, Sophia's camera tilted down. "Wait." Quinn clung to Lena, shaking, refusing to look at the mirror. But the others couldn't look away. In the cracked glass, Quinn's reflection kept smiling, a pale grin stretched ear to ear, while Quinn's real lips trembled, whispering prayers no one could hear. A faint tapping came from the mirror itself, tick, 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 like fingernails against glass from the other side. Jordan's breath caught. It's copying her. It's not her anymore. Maya raised the camera hands, trembling. The red light blinked, catching the reflection's grin. The cracks spread wider with each pulse of light, spider webbing toward the edges. "Don't watch it," Lena whispered. She pulled Quinn's head against her chest. "Don't look. Don't give it anything." The pipes above groaned, followed by a rush of water pounding like fists slamming down a table. Sophia whimpered, keeping the lens steady. "If I stop filming, no one will believe this." Jordan's voice cracked. Her ankle bled where the laces had cut deep. "We need help," Sophia whispered. "We need out." From the hallway, faint footsteps pattered closer, fast and uneven, then stopped just outside the door. Silence followed, broken only by a slow drip. Drip, drip from the sink. Maya's hands shook as she steadied the camera again. "Izzy," she said, "please. We hear you. We don't want to hurt you." The crying turned into laughter, thin, broken, like someone smiling with a mouth full of water. Jordan backed against the wall. "This isn't about listening. This is about punishment." The bathroom lights flickered, plunging them into shadow, for 1 second too. When they returned, the hoodie was gone. In its place, a trail of wet footprints, small bare, leading from the third stall across the room to the mirror. And in the cracked glass, 5 reflections stood. But one of them, Quinn's, was smiling, though Quinn herself was not. The bathroom's silence after the laughter was worse than the crying. With a sudden jerk, the hoodie slid toward the toilet. "Stop!" Quinn shrieked, trying to yank her ankle free. The fabric tightened around her shoe like a noose. The toilet roared, flushing without a hand on its lever, and the bowl foamed with red, frothing as if eager to consume. Maya and Lana lunged to pull Quinn back, but the hoodie dragged harder, stronger, sliding across tile. Quinn clawed at the sink nails, screeching down porcelain. Sophia caught her arm, the camera dangling, recording every second. Quinn's scream tore the air. "Help me!" The mirror cracked again with a thunderous snap, shards chiming as they shifted but did not fall. Jordan grabbed Quinn's other arm. The 5 of them strained against something invisible. The hoodie tightened like wet rope. Quinn's leg bent at an unnatural angle. Her sneaker tore free, vanishing into the toilet's bloody churn. The hoodie slumped empty, as if satisfied. Quinn collapsed, sobbing, into Lena's lap. The smell turned coppery, sharp as cut fingers. They all staggered back. From the drain beneath the sink came a bubbling gurgle, as though someone were blowing air through a straw in thick liquid. Sophia whimpered, "Oh my God, it's everywhere." She swung the camera from sink to stall, catching the red sheen growing in both. Jordan snapped, "We're done." Out. She shoved Quinn toward the door, but the handle resisted. She twisted harder. Nothing. The door rattled against its frame with a metallic clang, shaking as if fists pounded from the other side. "Locked," Jordan gasped. "It's locked." "No," Maya said, "it's not locked. It's holding us in." The crying rose again, louder, wetter, choking sobs that echoed from every corner, bouncing off tile until it sounded like 5 voices weeping in unison. Quinn screamed and stumbled back against the stalls. Her foot caught on the hoodie. The knot in the hood string was unraveled by itself. The strings curled like fingers. Its red light blinked as if it too were nervous. She zoomed in on the hair pooled on the floor. The strands seemed damp, clinging to each other like veins. The fluorescent bulb flickered and buzzed again, releasing a high-pitched whine that made the glass vibrate. Jordan exhaled sharply. Enough. This is where horror movies cut to screaming and we're still alive. Time to leave. But Maya was staring at the toilet bowl. The water was no longer clear. It swirled sluggish, the color of rust diluted into pink. Her reflection warped on the surface, pale and shivering. A single drip fell into the bowl plink, and the ripples whispered outward. "Do you see that?" Maya pointed. They all leaned in. The water deepened further, shading to crimson. Quinn whispered, "It's blood." Her voice cracked. "It's blood." Lena stepped closer. "It can't be. It's just minerals, rust, iron pipes." But then the liquid surged up, nearly breaching the rim. The bowl's water darkened by a degree, like a cloud passing over a pond. "This isn't safe," Jordan said. Neither was ignoring her, Lena answered. Quinn wiped her cheeks. "If we help, will it stop?" she asked the room like a child bargaining with thunder. No one answered. Somewhere below them, a piano found 2 notes and played them slowly, ding, ding, far apart, as if practicing a sad alphabet. The bathroom seemed smaller after the 3rd stall door had been opened. Air pressed in on them like wet fabric. The hoodie still slumped against the wall, but Maya swore she saw it shift the hood strings, twitching like breath. Jordan tried the door again, hoping it would stick shut this time. It didn't. The door swung slowly, sighing into stillness. From deep inside, the plumbing came a groan, low and guttural, like a throat trying to clear itself. Quinn covered her ears. "I don't like this. I don't like this at all." "Film it," Maya whispered. Sophia obeyed, lifting the camera. From the hallway outside, a barely there footstep creaked across waxed linoleum, and the bathroom door eased another inch, as if breathed on. "Who else has keys?" Jordan asked. "Custodians," Maya said. "Admin. Bullies," Lena added. They clustered together in the mirror's reflection, 5 faces pale beneath buzzing light, the cracks spidering between them like a fault line. Maya lifted the camera again and steadied it with both hands. She didn't say that she felt seen, not by the girls with her, but by something patient and hurt and waiting to be heard. The crying swelled from everywhere at once, stall drain, ceiling vent, braiding into a single trembling note that made the mirror quiver. Maya swallowed. "Izzy," she said softly, "we're here." She set the camera on the counter and reached for the 3rd stall again, as if doing the same thing twice could make a different history. The lock clicked. The door opened wider. Air rushed past her, cold and damp. At 12:10, a thin crying began again, closer now, as if someone were curled in the far corner, sobbing softly into tile. The sound slipping under the door like a tide. Jordan stood. We're done. She grabbed the third stall's latch. It wouldn't budge. She tugged again. The metal squealed. Maya reached to help. Together, they pulled. The latch clicked. The doors swung inward on a slow arc and bumped something soft. A line of water traced the grout from the toilet base to the threshold, clear, but smelling faintly metallic, like a handful of pennies. A ribbon of black hair lay coiled on the floor like a question mark. No body, no shoes, no girl. Only a damp hoodie crumpled against the wall, the school's teal logo darkened to navy. The hood's ties were knotted together, tight and thoughtless. Lena crouched and touched the sleeve. "It's cold," she said. "So cold." She closed her eyes, as if listening to some other room the rest of them couldn't hear. "Izzy," she tried, "if you can hear us." A faint knock, knock, knock answered from inside the stall, polite as asking to be excused. Quinn clutched Maya's sleeve. "Please stop," she whispered. "Please." Lena, who had said little, finally spoke. "What if everyone left her alone?" "What if that's the point?" she cried, and nobody came. She looked at the floor. "It's not a ghost story. It's about us." Maya blinked hard. "Then we don't leave." Somewhere in the pipes, water rushed with a quickened heartbeat, and a wavering hum drifted from the ceiling like a distant chorus that couldn't find its melody. They pulled paper towels from the dispenser, sat on the counter by the sinks, and waited. The bathroom breathed with them. The fluorescent bulb trembled. The third stall door stayed shut. At 12:09, Quinn exhaled and said, "See nothing." "If anyone's in there, we're filming a story about you," she said. "We want to listen." They stood very still. The clock above the hand dryer, the one that supposedly always froze at 3:07, ticked forward ordinary and indifferent. Maya felt stupid, brave, and cruel all at once. Izzy had been a girl like them. Somewhere a mother kept a photo in a drawer and changed the subject when anyone asked. Then the hand dryer coughed to life with no one under it, roaring for 2 seconds and cutting off with a shudder that rattled the vent. Quinn yelped and stumbled into the long mirror. A crack veined from one corner to the center, a spiderweb unspooling. "I barely touched it," she said. "Okay," Jordan announced. "Fun's over. We have footage. We go home, add creepy music, and call it a night." Maya shook her head. "Just a few more minutes. We promised we'd actually listen." She aimed the camera at the third stall. The first door creaked open. Inside sat a toilet with chipped porcelain, its lid down like a closed eye. She lifted the lid. Clear water waited calm enough to be suspicious. She shut it. The second door stuck. She pulled. It came free with a sigh. Empty. The third door, the one at the end, had a smear of rust on its lock, as if someone had scraped it with keys, desperate to get out. From behind that door, a slow scraping dragged across the tile like a hairbrush combing through 1,000 strands. Quinn swallowed. "Izzy?" she asked, because giving a ghost a name made it feel like weather, not disaster. Maya placed her palm against the third door. It was cold, colder than the others, as if winter hid there. "We're not here to hurt you," she said, hating that she sounded like one more bully promising a joke. The restroom answered with a thin, glassy clink and the sound of a mirror settling, and then a tiny splash as if a fingertip tested water. Sophia lifted the camera for a close-up. It opened on a strip of sickly fluorescent light, revealing 3 stalls, 2 sinks, a long mirror, and a speckled floor. "See," she announced. "Just a room." The fluorescent bulb buzzed a tired insect hum, and the steady drip from somewhere unseen counted the seconds like a metronome. Quinn hovered in the doorway. "Do we really have to be in here at midnight?" "Yes," Maya said, trying to sound like a director instead of a dare-taker. "The legend says the crying starts at 12. She lifted the camera. The red record light blinked on. Jordan the skeptic flipped open her notebook like a journalist. Lena checked her watch. 12:00 a.m. A small whimper rose from the far stall, a breathy, childlike sorrow that curled under the partitions and touched their shoes. Jordan snapped her notebook shut. "Okay, not funny." She glared at Maya and then at Sophia. "Who cued the sound effect?" "No one," Sophia said. Her voice came out too flat. Maya stepped toward the stalls. Posters for the homecoming game sagged, as if hiding from whatever waited in the bathroom after midnight. A single piano note chimed from the auditorium below, one key pressed and held thin as a thread. Then it cut off, leaving the airs emptier than before. "Old building," Jordan said. "Old pipes, old instruments." She reached for the handle. The door trembled as if someone on the other side had steadied a shaking palm against it. The girls jumped back in a single intake of breath. 2 years ago, a girl named Isabella "Izzy" Morales had been trapped here as a prank during a storm. A burst pipe flooded the tile. The janitor left early. The power failed. By the time anyone checked, the story said it was far too late. And sometimes, long after people heard crying, the kind you shouldn't ignore. From the ceiling vent, a low flutter sifted down like a trapped bird trying not to be heard. Sophia pushed the door. Maya swore the girls' bathroom on the 3rd floor was only a legend, not a place where real things happened. That was what she told herself when the campus clock blinked 11:58 p.m. And she and 4 other girls, Jordan, Lena, Sophia, and Quinn, stood before the door with the pink stick figure breath, fogging the corridor like a slow exhale. Quinn gripped her phone like a lifeline. Jordan rolled her eyes as if disbelief were armor. Sophia, always filming, let the school-issued camera hang from its strap. Lena kept looking down the empty hallway, as though someone might come tell them to stop before something started. From somewhere beyond the door came the soft punctuation of water hitting tile, drip, 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 and beneath it, a muffled sob that didn't sound like anyone they knew. "You hear that?" Quinn asked, trying to sound bored and failing. The hallway was a river of lockers fading to darkness both ways. Trophy cases gleamed like teeth. "Whose cry echoes if you're afraid? Don't listen."